are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
Wait for it. Super Divorce.
Super Divorce, SUPERCAST. Hello.
Hello.
We live?
Yep, we're live.
Hey, everybody.
Pay attention, Dale.
It's hard to.
Hey, it's Nicholas Villarge, vocalist.
Dale on bass.
Bender on drums.
Bob is on his way. He's stuck in traffic.
Really bad traffic because they have a lot of parades.
Yeah, there's a big
They
Christmas
do.
parade here in town today, and Bob is caught in the crossfire.
He somehow didn't know about it. Of course, I didn't know about it either. When I was driving in today, coming down 48, there was a big road closed ahead sign, up to fairgrounds or whatever, and I was like, shit. Well, I'm gonna take a chance anyways, and I just kept driving, and there wasn't closed yet. I just got here anyways. It's like, thanks for the giant flashing sign. That was a lie.
Well, I feel like if you live in Lebanon, you should know about the Christmas parade today.
That's true, and I don't live in Lebanon, so
Bob,
I have an excuse.
Yeah, I didn't know about it either.
Bob works at the local bank. I'm sure people were talking about it. There were signs all over town.
Quite the buzz.
Yeah, quite the buzz. It's quite the big deal here in Lebanon.
He obviously doesn't pay attention.
No. Christmas parade.
Yeah.
They've got horses and horse-drawn carriages.
Are there floats?
There's
this is a float
horse
parade?
activities.
There might be some floats.
Minor floats?
Yeah. It's at night they do it.
Okay.
And then the horses come through the Clydesdales, and Santa Claus is waving to people, and it's very festive.
A small town version of the Christmas parade in A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah, very festive. I went last year. Obviously, tonight we are doing this, and then we have a show.
Woo, show!
All right.
Excited about that.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with us tonight, and we're going to be playing at Hank's Pub with Mike Sandy and Kid Stardust.
So excited to see Kid Stardust again.
Yeah, they're really good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm pumped to hear Mike, since we couldn't the last
Yeah,
time.
we had to take off. Do you work tomorrow?
I do.
You do?
Big old... Well, luckily tomorrow I only work 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Short-ass shift. So
6 a.m. though. That's rough.
I'll either sleep for 2 hours, or I just won't go to bed and just pound out the shift and then sleep when I get home.
I've been waking up at 6 most days.
Yeah, Jesse told me that.
Yeah. Trying to bust my ass into a new routine.
Really?
Yeah. Give myself a Saturday and Sunday to sleep in. But I've been waking up at 6 and going immediately to the Y in the morning, and then coming home and doing housework and such. So it's good because it gives you a chance to get started strong,
Yeah,
I like
the day going.
Yeah. And that's Bob trying to get my dog Warrior out of the room. There you go. Okay.
Much quicker than we anticipated.
It's officially the first time all 4 of us have been in the room while a podcast is happening.
Yeah. Bob, you might want to grab a chair.
Okay.
Because there is not one.
We did not plan ahead.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
No problem.
Always thinking of you.
So. Yeah. Any other news with us? We've been sort of going through the mixes on our album that we're waiting on.
Sound fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's sounding great so far. We've gotten 5 songs so far. They're not finalized, but everything is sounding wonderful so far. So can't wait to get those finished up.
Definitely.
Yep. Kirby's doing a great job.
Oh yeah, Kirby's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. Kirby, if you hear this, you're doing a wonderful job, man. We appreciate it.
Keep it up.
Appreciate you. All right. Well, let's see. Why don't we do an artist searchlight here?
Artist searchlight. That's right. Probably renamed it.
Yeah. So since Bob just sat down, Bob, why don't you search for an artist and we'll talk about him.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of He Is Legend lately, so what about them?
The searchlights landed on He Is Legend.
He Is Legend. Artist searchlight.
Huge fan.
Yeah.
Huge fan of He Is Legend.
Yeah. I think they're one of those bands that every album they put out is fantastic. And with me, I started with I Am Hollywood, which was their first major release, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
They could have had like smaller EPs or something before that, but
There was an EP before that.
Was
I
there?
think
Yeah.
there's one.
Yeah.
It's really
Okay.
good.
Is it good?
Yeah, it is very good.
All right, but I Am Hollywood's the one I first heard, and then their follow-up record to that, Suck Out the Poison, took me a while to warm up to it, but when I did, it became equal to or greater than I Am Hollywood in my reckoning.
Yeah.
And then they took kind of a long break after that album wasn't so well received by people like me who judged it too quickly. And were wanting another I Am Hollywood and didn't get one. But they followed it up with It Hates You, which is a really, really solid rock record.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love the name of that album too.
Yeah.
It Hates You.
It also, I feel like it really drove home the fact though that they were not pandering to any of the I Am Hollywood fans, you know,
Right.
because like you said, it is a rock album.
Mhm.
It's not a scene album by any means.
No.
You know, it is a hard rock album, and it's really fucking good though.
Yeah.
And
It's what hard rock should be, but
Yeah.
isn't.
Yeah.
And we've had many conversations about how there's some cuts off that album that could be, you know, hard rock staples on
Yeah.
the radio if people knew what the fuck they were doing.
yeah, but they'd
Instead,
rather-
we get Five Finger Death Punch and fucking Volbeat when you could have He Is Legend burning it up, you know,
Mhm.
driving hard rock to where it needs to go in this you know, time period, and it's just not happening. And the same thing with their most recent record, Heavy Fruit. Even though it's a little bit more atmospheric
Mhm.
and kind of spacey at certain points, there's some hooks on that album that really, really make you think, man, this could be a fucking radio rock
Something
song.
Witchy could have been
Oh, dude.
a radio hit,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I played it on my radio show last week, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, now it is a radio.
Yeah. It's one of those where you go, man, I want to listen to He Is Legend right now,
Mhm.
and then you have that 20-minute dilemma of which record you want to listen to. You're like, fuck, which one? You know, because
Yeah, they're all different. It's
right,
perfect.
they each give you something unique to the specific record. You know, I Am Hollywood's a little bit more, like you said, kind of a scene. Not quite, because they're more intricate than that. I would hate to lump them in with other scene bands from the early 2000s, but it gives you that feeling at certain points. They do a lot of the screaming and breakdowny stuff, and then It Hates You is a straight up filthy southern rock, you know, masterpiece that just blows your dick off.
Yeah.
The song Mushroom River off Suck Out the Poison is seriously one of the heaviest things I've
Yeah.
ever heard. It
Yeah.
is unbelievable. I love that song.
That album is something I always throw on right around fall time when it starts getting cool out. I always like listening to that on the way to haunted houses, and I think it really captures the Halloween spirit.
Yeah.
So.
And He Is Legend recently ran a very successful Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah.
Where they raised the money almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw them update their status like we go in the studio tomorrow. So it was a really quick start the go-go, end the go-go process, because it just blew doors down and got them where
Yeah.
they needed to be. So they're still relevant as fuck,
Mhm.
you know. Still got a very strong, dedicated fan base that's willing to put up money to hear more He Is Legend albums, and
That's what you need. You just need the dedicated following. You know,
Yeah.
it's better to have that than to have just instant massive success with one song and then have people just kind of forget about you.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Weezer proved that.
Yeah.
With everywhere, everything will be all right in the end because
Mhm.
not a commercial success, but as long as they have fans that aren't these fair-weather dickheads that jump off the bandwagon at the first sign of
yeah,
oh they're losing it, you know.
like I really wonder how successful a Clay Aiken Indiegogo would be.
Probably not very.
Like I know
Of all the artists
Ruben
you could,
stuttered.
Yeah, of all the artists you could pick, and I feel like those two examples only serve to show our age a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
When we have to try to think of American Idol people, it's
And the
like the
only
ones
ones
from
we
the
can think
first
of
3
are-
seasons.
Yep.
It's been on for like
Ruben
15
Studdard
years.
and Clay Aiken.
Clay
Chris
Aiken,
Daughtry.
yeah, Daughtry.
There you go.
Daughtry.
Chris, or what was his name? No, sorry, Clay Aiken. He had the one big song, "If I Was Invisible." Remember that one?
No.
I don't remember
He didn't
Clay
even
Aiken
win
having
either.
a hit.
It was
Yeah.
his one hit song.
He was a runner.
It was on the
runner-up.
radio.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
I don't remember.
It was about being invisible. If he was invisible, he would
I
just
think-
watch you while you sleep and kind of creepy shit.
I remember the only
I
thing.
think he's a realtor now. He's a
realtor.
he sells real estate these days.
I just
He
like
gave
remember-
up on music and now he works for Coldwell Banker,
Oh,
and he's a damn fine realtor.
He always reminded me of Joel Osteen a little bit.
I could see them palling around a little bit,
Yeah.
except Joel Osteen hates gay people.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was
Clay
just gonna say that. It
Gay
won't work.
Aiken,
Yeah.
he might not get along with good old Joel.
Yeah.
Then again, Joel Osteen may be a closet homosexual, so they could
He may be.
could get along.
That's purely speculation, though.
No, that's fact.
Okay. Well,
Total
that's
fact.
fact.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But Joel Osteen is a piece of shit.
Well, he would be hypocritical if he were a gay man.
Absolutely.
Well,
He would be a
I'm pretty
shitty
sure
gay
he's
man.
hypocritical now.
But
Yeah.
look at all the senators who are against gay marriage and get caught soliciting transgender hookers and stuff. I mean,
Trying to. What was the
Get
one
that.
guy? He didn't like kind of. He was
Tapping
doing the
the
tapping
foot.
the foot under the,
Yeah.
the bathroom stall door
Yeah.
or something.
that's the signal.
Yeah. You just see a foot kind of come underneath
Yeah.
and start tapping.
Like a nice business shoe.
Yeah. Very
Uh,
slick and
High-end shine shoe. Maybe
Yeah.
shine just that morning.
Maybe you can smell the shoe shine a little
Yep.
bit.
Possibly see a little bit of your reflection in it.
Mhm.
And it just gentle tap, tap, tap.
That's when you know.
That's
Mhm.
when you got to make the decision whether you're going to get involved in some man-on-man action in a bathroom stall. When you could just fucking go on a dating site and get a boyfriend. I mean,
I wonder what
really.
the signal is back. Do you tap back?
I would imagine you probably take your foot and touch theirs a little bit. Little
Maybe-
foot play.
Maybe you tap back with your hand. Maybe you tap
Touch
the
the
shoe with your hand.
If you can reach, it depends. Some of those stalls have a lot of room.
Yeah.
If you're in the handicap stall, that might be quite a reach. So,
Maybe there's like a wand that you're supposed to carry.
yeah, like a grabber.
Yeah, a grabber.
Like a- so you don't have to bend over all that way. You just
Yeah.
reach out and kind of clamp it on the
You
foot.
clamp the shoe
Yeah.
and pull it underneath your stall,
Yeah,
and then they have to come
part of
into
the
yours.
leg
Yeah, and-
comes under.
yeah,
Do you remove the shoe and maybe?
yeah.
See, I don't know how
no.
kinky this gets.
Yeah,
Is
you
there
take-
foot play involved.
Well, the shoe
I mean,
comes. You're sitting there taking a shit,
Yeah,
right? And then you see.
Do you, I would imagine you'd want to wipe up first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before any of this goes down.
But you
What if
see-
he taps prematurely and you're like,
Give me a minute.
is there a pause tap where you're like, hey, hold on, I gotta clean up over here first. And
Well,
then
you're
we
using the
can-
grabber, so then you just grab lightly and then pull your grabber back, and that
So the light
tells them,
grab.
that tells them to hold on a sec. And then when you're done, obviously they hear the toilet flush.
Yeah.
And then you grab the shoe hard with your grabber and kind of tug the shoe off and bring it into your side.
Uh-huh.
So they have to come underneath the stall door
to get
their shoe back. And then
they decide where to go from there.
Yeah. Or maybe once you grab the shoe, they have like a buzz saw that they saw a door into the partition.
Or a glory hole. They could create a glory hole real quick.
You could. I was being a little more destructive.
Okay.
Okay. Because you're just so excited.
You just saw a door-shaped hole and just rip it off and
you maybe kick it in.
Wow.
You kick it in with your stocking
shoeless
feet.
Foot.
Yeah.
Business socked foot. Because that's. I mean, I'm gonna steal a Seinfeld line here. I'm gonna kind of mix it with what we're talking about, but when you're in a room with a revolting stench, that's when you want to spend the most time possible, and then also have sex with another man in that stench room, stench-filled dungeon.
Yeah.
Not to mention it's a public restroom, so there could be other restroom goers coming in. So you'd have to. I'd imagine it's kind of like a cat and mouse game where you're trying to stay quiet during your orgasm, while you're getting it on with this complete stranger in a stall, and hoping that other restroom goers don't notice that there's two men getting it on.
Not to mention the fact that someone was just sawing the partition in half.
That'd have to be discreet too, but then again, they're senators, so they might have, some men on the inside to get them some fancy gadgetry. Well,
I was also thinking maybe they've got security outside, making sure no one else comes in.
Okay, so Secret Service is in on the bony.
So maybe if the transaction begins and it's going down, then the senator would just text his security outside, and that would let them know, don't let anyone else come in right now because I just found a guy.
The text would be
under
DND.
construction.
Do not disturb. And that sends a little. Maybe the text alert on the security officer's phone is a little different for the DND text.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of bzz, instead of buzzing where he thinks it's an emergency, it goes like, and he knows. Or like maybe since it's not a woman, maybe it's more like a fuck yeah. Like a growly, manly sex noise there.
Or maybe the Peter North. Nice odor.
Oh, yeah! Many different ones to choose from.
Yeah.
Maybe he chooses which word to send to the guard as soon as he meets the guy.
Yeah.
So he gets a good look at him, and if he's a bear, you get the fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then if he's kind of an effeminate,
mm-hmm.
maybe if it's a transvestite,
mm-hmm.
which in that case, aren't you just trying to have your cake and eat it too? You know? You want the D, but you also want a pair of boobies
mm-hmm.
to go along with it.
Well,
I guess, yeah.
Want the best of both worlds.
Yeah. And the dick is the best. The perfect sex object has a dick and tits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought of like the sound for like a nuclear meltdown. What kind of person would that have to be? Like a like the.
What about
maybe that would be a really ugly dude. You haven't gotten your rocks off in so long that you're willing to just throw the attraction aspect out the window.
Yeah.
And you see George Wendt is in the stall next to you. And you're like, oh.
You know what else?
Guess,
hold on.
I just have to. I guess.
I have to comment on that.
Okay, you think George Wendt's attractive?
No, Bender had brought up showing our age by talking about Clay Aiken and Ruben Studdard, And I just had to imagine anyone like, I don't know.
Under 30
Yeah.
knows who George Wendt is. For those of you who don't know, George Wendt is Norm from Cheers.
Yeah. If they know what Cheers is.
If you know. Yeah, they
Also
can Google Cheers.
Ted Danson.
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley.
Or the girl before Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, I don't remember her
Shelley
name.
Long.
Yeah.
She was attractive.
Rhea Perlman.
Yep. Danny DeVito married Rhea Perlman.
Yeah.
Which is
They were in Matilda together.
Hollywood power
Saw
couple
that.
there.
Power couple. I don't know about that. I would just say Hollywood couple. I'd give them the power rating.
Pearl Vito.
And hold on, we have to mention what's his name? Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer, yeah. A lot of people don't know. Well, if you even know what Frasier is, because Frasier had a long run, but still.
I feel like Kelsey
that's
Grammer.
a spin-off of Cheers, which is, you know.
He should have had a talk show called Grammatically Correct.
He should have.
He could have followed up Politically Incorrect.
Yeah, grammatically correct.
Yeah.
With guest CM Punk. I like Kelsey Grammer. I don't want to jump on. I feel like he might be a polarizing figure in Hollywood, but
he's like the John Cena of.
I don't know about that. He's not that kind of. John Cena's like Nickelback.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he can put a good song together, but man, does he suck. But I don't think John Cena's as bad as Nickelback is, because I've actually enjoyed John Cena's matches leading up to his hiatus that he's on right now.
I enjoyed the first Nickelback song I heard. Full disclosure.
Which song?
Really?
Whatever their first big single was.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
saying
know
that
one.
I'm still jamming it to this day, but I remember being like in ninth grade
well, you
and
can't.
hearing
I mean,
it.
you can't blame me. We all.
I think I had it on a mixed CD.
Obviously,
then,
somebody out there's listening to Nickelback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're huge.
It's not like you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
One waiting on a different story.
Yeah, I know that one.
And then I remembered Sum 41 covered it, and that made it
They
kind of
did?
even cooler.
I never heard that.
I never heard that either.
Sum 41, they didn't record it or anything, but they performed it on some MTV special or something. I remember I downloaded it on Kazaa and had that on a mixed CD where Sum 41's covering Nickelback in a pop punk style too. So
I think the worst song I ever put on a mixed CD, I made a workout mixed CD in high school, and I put Kane's theme song when Finger 11 performed it.
oh man, I don't even know what that is, but
Well,
that's bad.
If you want to hear an awful song, then
Is that-
check that out.
Is it any worse than Disturbed's take on Stone Cold's theme?
I don't think it's that bad. That's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to a wrestling theme.
That's awesome. That's real bad.
But maybe we just need to liberate our minds.
Yeah. I had oh man, I had a lot of Disturbed on my workout CDs.
They're not
I had
good.
Trapped
No.
on a lot of them too.
I couldn't stand Trapped.
Headstrong was okay, I never liked Disturbed.
Godsmack,
Mm-hmm.
fucking yeah,
Yeah.
awful stuff.
All my
So-
friends
so
in high
bad.
school were into that stuff, and I was
Mhm.
not. I never.
Well, I wasn't in high school when I was listening to this. It was like 6th grade. That was like a dark time for me. And then the first time I heard Taking Back Sunday is what converted me into what made me who I am today, honestly. I heard Timberwolves at New Jersey. Prior to that, I'd heard Blink and stuff, so I was already kind of making the transition, but the first time I heard Timberwolves at New Jersey, I was like, holy shit. Like that. That song still gets me every time.
Does it turn you into a TT boy?
Yeah. I was hoping to make it here before TT Boys through this
You
goddamn...
did, because we just spent 30 minutes talking about
Oh yeah, He Is Legend is awesome.
Oh, they're so good. Check out Heavy Fruit if you haven't. It's their new album.
I forgot that.
There's a song on there that's legitimately... It has a part that's the heaviest thing I've ever heard in any song.
What is that?
I don't know what the title of it is. Because usually I listen to the album front to back when I listen to it, and track by track isn't something I pay attention to.
I'm
but
the same way.
There's a moment on that album where if you're not listening on some quality headphones, it'll just fuck your shit up. It'll just like blow everything up. But if you have a good quality speaker or some good headphones, listen to Heavy Fruit and you'll know the part I'm talking about. I don't know what the fuck tuning they're in, but it's seriously the lowest and heaviest thing.
I haven't heard anything off that album.
Oh man, it's really good.
Check it out and check out He Is Legend.
Yep.
Artist Searchlight.
Yep. We've opened for He Is Legend too, so
yeah,
that's
we have.
cool.
Twice.
Well, Nick and I have.
Oh yeah.
I have.
Oh yeah,
He was there
Bender
for the,
was there
last
for
one.
the second time.
TT Boys. Hey, here's the first one. Peking Duck. Fan edits Wikipedia page to get backstage with band. Did you hear about this?
I did.
Yeah,
I
I
read
heard
it. I read this story.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I don't know who the band is though.
They're like an electronic band. Like, I don't know why you just want to meet an electronic band, but apparently the
Depends
dude,
on who they are, but yeah.
But I don't know who Peking Duck is.
No.
They're big enough to have to edit their Wikipedia page to make it look like you were related to them. That's what the guy did.
And then he showed the Wikipedia page to the security and they let him in. See, it's funny in theory, and it sounds like it'd be a cool premise, like a part of a movie.
Yeah.
Like a Pineapple Express type deal where they're like, oh, we got to get backstage, and they're all high, and they're like, let's edit the Wikipedia page and get in. But I hate to let the terrorists win on this one. But think about how easy that would be for just some dickhead to do that and get in and just blow their brains out, you know?
Yeah, a crazed fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you know.
Well, I'm sure
Somebody
now
walked
The thing is, now it's happened once.
it won't
Yeah.
work again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That was a
true.
one-time thing.
Yep.
And
And the guy didn't blow their brains out.
Yeah,
he just
so
went.
kudos to him.
He just went back and was just like, "Oh, hey, you want to have some drinks?" And I think they like hung out with him all night.
Yeah.
Practically.
Pretty
And then he
cool.
was just like, "Cool, thanks for letting me hang," and then left.
Yeah.
So no one hurt, no one maimed or slaughtered. So
That's
good.
it's a harmless prank. Walmart. Retailer sues Puerto Rican government over tax increase. Walmart
Yeah.
suing the Puerto Rican government.
Okay.
Really.
Well,
What does Walmart need more money for? Like, really?
Yeah. So,
fuck Walmart. Fuck anything that they do or want to do. And seriously, I hope the entire family that owns Walmart burns alive.
it's the Walton family.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck those guys. Gals. Seriously,
Fuck 'em
just
all.
fuck them all. Yeah. Yeah. Say what you want about Puerto Rico, but they had the balls to be like, when the U.S. was like, hey, you want to be a state? They were like, nope. So that's pretty cool. You know, that's takes some guts to not do that. I don't know much else about Puerto Rico.
No.
I've
they
seen
didn't
it.
sell out.
They didn't sell out, right? Yeah.
Right.
That's like if Kenny Omega got offered a WWE contract and he was like, I'm good in Japan, which I'm sure has happened.
Probably.
So, yeah.
Probably give them a suck it and then
Yeah.
move on.
That's what Puerto Rico did to us. They gave us a nice suck it and said, nope, we'll just stay Puerto Rico.
All right, so we're saying fuck Walmart.
Yeah.
Very
that's
rarely do I shop there. Only when I absolutely have to. Kroger is slightly less evil because their workers are unionized and they actually treat them okay, kind of. But
Walmart just has a thing where you can get anything you want at any time of day or night, and so you know,
that's the convenience factor that puts small businesses out of business.
Yeah.
I mean, it fucks the local infrastructure up wherever it goes.
well, not only that, they can sell things much cheaper
Mm-hmm.
because of their stranglehold they have, you know,
Yep.
and distribution and such, you know. Sell to us at a lower price or else we won't distribute your products.
Yep.
And then they do, and then Walmart can sell them cheaper than anyone else in town, and you run everyone out of business.
So what we have is terrorists going into music venues and killing music fans instead of fucking burning down Walmarts and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Can't they direct their hatred at something that's actually evil? You know, like.
Mhm.
Not that
No.
I'm encouraging people to burn down Walmarts, but
No.
I think we'd be less pissed off if
you
like
could
Walmart was blown up, nobody was hurt, but Walmart
Well,
took a hit. You
that'd
know,
be the that'd be the ideal situation.
right.
You,
I guess that's the difference. Some terrorists have a little class.
I
think, I think these terrorists should watch Fight Club. I mean, look at what the fuck's the terrorist organization? that
Project
started?
Mayhem.
Project Mayhem. Fucking A. Let's do something worthwhile with your terrorism, you fucking assholes.
If you're going to terrorize
Yeah.
responsibly.
Yeah, terrorize fucking, shut down all the credit card companies so we can start over again and say fuck all this wealth inequality shit. I mean, do something worthwhile with your bullshit. Don't kill innocent people. Terrorism, PSA. 2015.
Carrie
We
Fisher.
need some terrorism reform.
We got Carrie Fisher in the news,
Uh-huh.
trending. Actress says banning Princess Leia bikini stupid.
Yeah, she's right.
She is.
We were talking about this earlier before we started the cast, and it's just silly. It's silly to try to erase something like that.
Yeah, and Nick and I have had many private conversations about how we're kind of becoming the old man liberals, where we are progressive at times, but when it comes to this PC bullshit where
Everyone's triggered by everything.
yeah, and we're so goddamn sensitive about stuff, that's where it's just, you have to draw the line somewhere where you're just, Jesus.
Well, everyone's self-diagnosed PTSD
Yeah.
victim now.
I saw Princess Leia in a bikini and knew that I could never achieve that figure, so I cut myself now. Like,
I was
come
triggered.
on. I was triggered by it, yeah.
No. Seeing something and feeling uncomfortable or having feelings against it does not mean you're triggered.
She wore that shit with pride, too.
Yeah, and not to mention, yeah, exactly. Are we going to just outlaw beauty?
Yeah.
Just so that ugly people don't feel ugly or inferior?
There is no such thing as ugly anymore, Bob.
I'm pretty sure I read...
You can't say that.
I read or saw once they were talking to Carrie Fisher about wearing the bikini, and she was talking about how it, as like metal, like it didn't conform to her really whatsoever. So she was like, that whole time we're filming that scene, so pretty much everyone behind her just had like full view at different, however she was sitting or whatever. She was like, I'm pretty sure C-3PO could just see everything all the time because it didn't actually conform to her body or whatever. But she was just like, but what? It happened, and she's like, I think she wore that outfit with pride.
Who
She
wouldn't
kicked its
with
ass.
that body?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Holy shit.
Look at Carrie Fisher now. You don't think that was one of the highlights of her career? She's never going to look like that again.
I mean, she's older.
She's older. She could, yeah. But then again, on the other side of the coin, she was complaining that the studio wanted her to lose weight for The Force Awakens, and
she did it though.
She did it, number one, and number two, she's a general in the movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a fat general who looks like she sits around eating potato chips all day long? I mean, it just doesn't suit the character to be old and fat and out of shape.
It's
I mean,
like
old, yes, but
it's like Mon Mothma, definitely not the sex symbol of the Star Wars universe.
but also not morbidly obese.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that Carrie Fisher was morbidly obese.
No, she was not.
But, you know, she would be staying fit to be part of that resistance. I mean, it's just, it's part of the character. Why not just recast Melissa McCarthy as fucking Princess Leia and call it a day and just be like, you know, fat people matter too. Whatever, dude.
All I gotta say is I just want to try to track down, it shouldn't be very hard, but I want to get a Slave Leia Black Series figure in my possession before they are quote-unquote banned.
Yeah. Banned. Oh man, kids are gonna have trouble having their first erections these days. Seriously. I mean, think about it.
Pretty sure Rey in the new Star Wars film is never gonna be Slave Rey.
Right. Which is cool because it's a different story, but what's done is done.
Yeah.
I mean, why ban something that's already... Are they going to go in and CGI more clothes back on?
We talked about that earlier too. We're just like, I would be
edition.
really, really upset if Disney re-released the films with a CGI cloak over Slave Leia.
Yeah.
But I highly doubt
something
like that's gonna happen.
I'm gonna foreshadow right now. There's something on my mind that I can't wait to talk about when we get to the movie segment. But I know we still got a little ways to go.
Right now, we've got to get to Super Divorce. Don't know shit.
We don't know shit about something.
What don't
but
we
it
know
looks
shit
like it looks like Nick was looking for this for a while. So
Tonight, we don't know shit about Wilmot to retire.
Wilmot?
Wilmot to retire. Timothy Wilmot, Maple Extension Specialist, retired on November 30th, 2015 after 29 years of service at the University of Vermont Proctor Maple Research Center.
I thought
that's all we get.
That's what
That's
you
all
get.
we get.
So let's talk about how this is going
he's
to...
a maple extender?
Yeah.
Does that mean he gives maple trees boners and then extends their boners?
It looks like what
he's
he
a
does.
maple extension specialist.
Yeah, so he
It looks like what he does is taps the maple, and he creates
an
apparatus that
Yeah.
extends where it flows down and gets collected probably in some buckets somewhere, and then turned into different maple products.
Yeah.
By the way, our website for the story is thanks to themaplenews.com.
Thanks, maplenews.com.
So,
This is probably your only shout out on any media outlet ever.
There's probably a Maple podcast out there.
Probably a Maple
yeah.
Twitter account too.
Yeah.
And an Instagram.
Canada's got it.
Canada.
Wilmot.
Wilmot.
Let's talk about Wilmot retiring and how it's going to affect everyone.
Well, I've heard that he's the last living person who knows how to do this. It's one of those lost art forms like calligraphy.
Yeah.
Where, not that calligraphy is a lost art form, but it's dwindling. I mean, there's only a certain number of people who know how to do it really, really well.
Yeah.
But he's the absolute last of the Mohicans.
And the unfortunate thing is he only worked alone.
Yes.
And before he retired, he forgot to take on an apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
So now there are no maple extenders left. And so this means the end of maple syrup.
Yeah. I heard he had a Post-it note on his fridge.
Yeah.
For many, many years to take up an apprentice.
It just said get apprentice on
But because of the amount of maple he was expected to produce in his long career, it weighed down on him so much that he just never had time to do it. And one day, a stiff wind blew into his home, and the Post-it note, the adhesive had become old and wasn't as sticky as it initially was. Yeah. And it blew off his fridge and right into the trash can.
I mean, people don't realize, how much monitoring it takes when you're extracting this maple from these trees. Like getting all of the syrup out of the trees, it can take up to like 3 years
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Per tree.
per tree. And if he's got a whole...
I thought it was per bottle.
3 years per bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was you're extracting a whole tree, it's 3 years.
Not to
No.
mention...
Well, one tree makes one.
Well,
bottle.
okay.
Yeah.
One tree makes one.
But then,
bottle.
but he's got a whole grove of these trees he's got to look after and extract from, and you know he's doing them at different times. And it's a lot of mental work.
Yeah.
And maple, the sap that comes out of the tree before it becomes maple syrup is extremely poisonous. It's actually, if it gets on your skin, there can be a chemical reaction very similar to being bitten by a brown recluse spider.
Yeah.
Except the effects take hold quite a bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have a hole in your arm within minutes if you even touch.
Well, if it gets into your bloodstream,
Mhm.
your blood actually starts turning into maple syrup. And
Right.
it can, I mean, obviously once that happens, you're
Yeah.
done. There's nothing they can do for you.
Diabetic shock. I mean, your
If it
blood
pumps into your
sugar.
heart.
You'd have
Yeah.
90% blood sugar in your
Yeah.
in your veins, and
Well, you'd-
not to mention all your red blood cells would be gone. They're not able to carry the oxygen to your brain. You would just have the sugar high apparently is amazing right before the death.
Yeah.
So, if you want to commit suicide, it's a great way to
Well,
do
that is actually
There's-
the preferred method of the extenders.
Mm-hmm.
When they are finally ready to end their lives, it's a very prideful position, and
Yeah.
none of them like being taken before they're ready. But when they are,
They're-
they will go ahead and they'll get some of that unrefined maple, and they will drop that a heavy dose
Mm-hmm.
right on the base of the wrist there.
Yeah.
So that it goes right into the bloodstream. And
Last meal is a nice big old stack of flapjacks.
Yeah. And then usually the family will harvest the rest of the maple once they've passed on.
Right, they'll hook up an IV and drain the maple blood.
Well, I think what they actually used to do in the old days is they would just sever the head and hang them upside down
Mhm.
and place a bucket underneath so
Right.
that all of the syrup would collect
Yeah.
there.
Ring
And
it
that-
up like an old rag.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, but this is important information because a lot of people don't know it. You know, you get a lot of. One of the things, what is it? Willet.
Wilmot.
Wilmot.
Yeah.
Right.
Wilmot Special Reserve is the name of the brand of maple syrup.
Yeah.
And the Wilmot Special Reserve rare batch is when he finally does decide to pass away.
Yeah.
And they wring out that maple infused blood. It will only create about 2 bottles, and each bottle will cost somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million.
Yeah.
And they say it's the greatest tasting maple syrup you can buy.
Yeah.
Puts everything else to shame, and there are people out there willing to pay.
Well, there is a worry now because he did not take on an apprentice and he had no relatives
Mhm.
left, that there's not going to be anyone around to harvest his maple. So there's
Right.
a scramble right now within his estate to try and figure out who's going to be the one who gets to actually do that and then decide where that maple goes and which seller is going to get it.
Yeah.
Because, as you mentioned, it could go between $500,000 and $1 million for those bottles. But the person who those bottles go to first, they're not obligated to sell them. It's just if they're
right,
going
they
to.
can, yeah.
But
Yeah.
right now, as I mentioned, there is no one in place to step in and collect that maple from him when he passes away and then decide what happens next. So this is a really, really hot topic right
Yeah.
now within the maple community.
And you may be asking, why, even though he's retired, he can't just take on an apprentice now.
Yeah.
But what happens when these guys retire is they'll take a long vacation and not tell anybody where they've gone before they come back and decide to pass away.
Yeah.
So no one knows where Mr. Wilmot has gone. So we can't derive any of the information needed to perpetuate the process of the maple extending.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's listening to this podcast you forgot to take on an apprentice. We need either you to do that, come back out of retirement for a brief time to
which
train
has never
someone.
happened.
Right,
That.
right.
Yeah, because usually it is. It's kind of, these guys like to work right up until the end.
Yeah.
So they will take this vacation
And then come back and pass
That's
away
it.
right away. As soon as they step back on to the property.
Now the
It's
hope
time to
is
go.
that he doesn't do that before we're able to figure this stuff out, because that could be totally wasted batch of maple,
Yeah.
and it would be the last batch ever made.
Yeah.
Because he has no apprentice ready to take over, and so it's really a bad position for
Right.
maple
gonna be
consumers and the maple community,
Synthetic maple from now on.
which is just not going to be the same.
No.
No.
Well, what the backup plan could be, and I don't want to stretch this out too far, but getting into the realm of a little bit of science fiction, a little science fact, if he does come back and perform the ritual on himself before he takes an apprentice, what they could do when they somehow harvest that maple blood is to incorporate some kind of stem cell research where they can put some of the blood in a petri dish and kind of synthetically replicate it so that they can make endless batches of more of this.
I just wonder if
rare
that might be
reserve.
going too far. Is that playing God?
That's a whole different conversation.
If we could just reproduce that rare blend at will, then it would kind of tarnish the high profile nature of that blend. I worry.
Too much of a good thing. Kind of situation.
But I'm sure over time, the more the more batches they make of it, it's going to lose its luster over time.
Right.
The benefit is
the
that
copy of a copy is never as good
right.
as the original.
The benefit, however, is that we'll be able to sustain decent maple syrup for a long amount of time because that rare batch is so exquisite.
Yeah.
Whatever we're able to synthesize from it is going to be very good. It's going to be a good batch of maple syrup.
It won't be $1 million good, but it'll be.
We will have to turn a blind eye to the fact that it is not coming to us the natural way, nature's way, and not the way that the extenders intended us,
or the way the good Lord intended us.
Just try to enjoy your pancakes.
Yeah,
try not to think about it,
and conserve what maple syrup there is left, because we don't know. It's a guessing game. It's a
right now as things stand. That's it. There is no more. There will be no more. So once it runs out, that's it. So if you've got your maple, I would save it.
Either that or go to the grocery store and stock up.
Oh yeah, stock up. Because this news hasn't
fine.
gone mainstream yet.
Right. We're breaking this to you before any other news outlet.
4 to 5
besides
people
the
that
maple
listen to our
news.
podcast.
So
yeah,
we're gonna be on top of it.
So get out there and get your maple. And Mr. Wilmot, if you hear this, Oswald, if you hear this, I just urge you to please come back, take on an apprentice, do the right thing.
And we're a group of young men. I mean, even though we're in a band and we're playing a show tonight, any one of us would be willing to take on that task. Mm-hmm. And the rest of us will definitely support that individual, whoever it is that you choose, to be the next maple puller. So it would be a sacrifice that we'd be willing to make.
Just enjoy your vacation, though.
Yep.
Wherever you are, and come back rested and ready to get back to work.
Yeah.
And then die.
So now it's time for Comics Corner. Bender, you were just reading some comics earlier?
I was just reading some comics. I was trying to catch up on something to be able to talk about, and then I grabbed the wrong issues. Well, one wrong issue, but that's fine. I just wanted to highlight briefly today, because we have to get ready for our show, wanted to highlight a comic called Southern Cross. It's an Image comic, which, if I sort of run Comics Corner, it's going to be a lot of Image comics. Sorry, you superhero fans out there. But Southern Cross is written by Becky Cloonan, who is also an artist. She's illustrated some of Gerard Way's comic books of My Chemical Romance. But it's basically a space sort of odyssey where this girl Alex boards a spaceship from Earth that's headed for Jupiter's moon of Titan. There's like a mine, like a work site on Titan, and her sister has apparently died on Titan, and she's going to recover the body. But along the way, she comes to find that maybe her sister didn't just die in an accident, and there's some funny other passengers that she's crossing paths with that she believes are holding secrets from her, one of which being that a man on the previous trip killed himself in her room that she's staying in, and now she saw a ghostly figure. Now people aren't really saying much to her. She's kind of the outcast on the ship because she's not going to work. She's, it's everyone on the ship is going to Titan to work, and she is not. She's just along for the ride. So it's pretty cool. It's only 5 issues in right now, which means if you wanted to read it, you could probably find it. When the 6th issue comes out, though, that will mean that Image will release its first trade paperback, which will be a collection of all 6 issues. So if you want to wait for that, that'd be cool too, because Image trade paperbacks, the first one is always $10.
Oh, there you go. And it's a nice space mystery.
It's a nice little space. Yeah, if you like movies, there's a little bit of horror involved, not too much, but I think if you like movies like Sunshine or
great movie,
Event Horizon, little tiny bit, kind of that, got that big giant ship atmosphere to it. Definitely check out Southern Cross.
Southern Cross. All right, cool. How about video games? Anything going on video games wise?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Maybe not. Definitely has to do with video games, but Ivy herself just ordered a brand new 4K 60 frames per second television.
Oh my.
And I've been playing video games on it, and because of the frame rate and because they run in 60 FPS, it's definitely an adjustment.
Yeah.
To try to it gives everything this kind of, because it's so smooth, there's no motion blur.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, to suspend your disbelief is a little more difficult with 60 frames per second. It's hard to say, because with video games, of course, you're playing a video game, and to get immersed, it takes a really good video game. But I've noticed, especially with movies, that the suspension of disbelief is even harder, because it just looks, it's so perfect that it literally looks like you're watching these people act.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to draw yourself into that story when it's so clear that these people are standing right in front of you and there's no dreamy kind of cinematic feel to any of it.
Yeah.
It's just human beings just like you standing there and saying dialogue. And I don't know how long, I've been looking up, how long does it take to get used to 60 FPS, because I'm like, I don't know, man. We watched the first episode of Master of None on Netflix, and it's one of the few things that's streaming in 4K. And man, the picture, oh shit. It's wild, dude. It's absolutely wild. But at the same time, it's like there's no, I'm watching a show. It's like you're sitting in the room, maybe behind the camera, watching the actors. So
I remember having a reaction slightly like that when I got my first HD TV.
Yeah.
There was
your TV has that kind of, I don't know if it's 60 FPS, but it's a higher frame rate than what my Sony was.
Yeah.
And I always have trouble watching movies over here a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not a ton, but
I don't notice it anymore, but when I first got the TV,
Yeah.
I remember having that kind of looking through a window type of feel going on.
And they also call it the soap opera effect.
Yeah.
Because soap operas are shot in higher frame rates than movies. Movies are typically shot at 24, which is the low, like very low when you consider it against 60.
Yeah.
Which is why people bitched about the Hobbit movies being in 48.
Yeah. Because
it's somewhere between 24 and 60. So you get a faster frame rate. I mean, and it was making people nauseous and stuff. Like it's an adjustment for sure. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but I'm gonna stick with it and try my best.
Well, don't throw it away.
No, it's playing Fallout and not having it dip at all. Like just pure 60 frames per second is really interesting.
How's Battlefront?
Battlefront, I noticed it a lot less.
Really?
For whatever reason. Fast-paced gameplay lends itself to needing to be 60 frames per second. So you're so kind of jacked up on the adrenaline factor that you want it to be that quick.
Right.
Where in Fallout, if you're sneaking around, it's a much slower paced game a lot of the times, depending on the way you play. And looking around, even the menu, like the load screens, when the things are kind of, you can twirl around whatever item is on there. In 60 FPS, it's really disorienting at first. But it's cool. I've read forums where people argue about it. You know, they should go back to 30 or 60 is the best. You just got to stick with it. And, you know, so it's definitely a dividing line for sure. And but I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna give it a shot, please. Yeah.
I wanted to mention real quick on video games the disgusting, despicable lack of respect is that Konami What's Her Name show when they didn't let Hideo Kojima appear at the Video Game Awards on behalf of Metal Gear.
Didn't they fire him? They fired him from Silent Hill, didn't they?
Well, that was a different.
That's kind of a different thing, but they've had all this beef with him, and they got rid of him, and then he won an award at the Video Game Awards for Metal Gear Solid 5, and Konami filed something or whatever that banned him from appearing at the Video Game Awards.
So he couldn't even show up.
He couldn't even show up to accept.
They mentioned it on the air, like the host,
announcer, the host,
Jeff Keighley, stopped and addressed the situation. It was like
the whole
Konami
crowd,
won't let the
whole crowd booed when he said Konami.
Yeah,
wow.
It's like Konami would not allow Hideo Kojima to appear tonight on behalf of
Metal Gear 5.
Yeah,
and everyone booed, and then he was like, "Hideo, we're thinking about you. Like, we miss you." You know, it was.
That's sad, man.
Yeah.
That is just
really
when money gets in the way of shit like that or whatever beef they have. I'm sure it's about money in some capacity.
A lot of my coworkers at GameStop wouldn't buy Metal Gear Solid when it came out. They canceled their pre-orders because of how the company was treating Hideo.
Yeah,
and a lot of them were like, "Yes, I want to play it, but I'm gonna wait until it's much cheaper because I'm not gonna give Konami, the full money or whatever."
Yeah, I understand that. We had that reaction with Xbox One with how they were treating people.
Yeah,
you know how that. The guy's gone now, but their former head of
he works at Zynga now, I think.
Fucking asshole. But I just distinctly remember when somebody was like, why can't you play offline? And he was like, we already have an offline console. It's called the Xbox 360. Whoa, you are a fucking asshole, dude.
Well, to make it worse, they're asking about that because of people who are in the military.
Yeah.
Without access to the internet in certain places. Oh, well, we have a system for them.
Yeah, we have a system for those assholes who keep playing your 360. You don't get the up-to-date graphics and the 60 frames per second, you fucking
Or
cunts.
the new games.
Yeah, with new games, right, because we all know they're eventually going to stop releasing games for 360 and PS3.
It's slowing down much faster than it did from PS2 to PS3 and Xbox to 360.
They made PS2 games forever.
Yeah,
up until like 2013.
Seriously, yeah. I remember working at Target and several years after the PS3 came out, and people still buying stuff
Well,
on
the sports
PS2.
games were really what were the thing that kind of kept that market alive.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have people coming by FIFA.
All you got coming out on 360 now is AAA titles.
Yeah.
Your sports games and your shooters. That's it.
Yeah.
Fuck it, it's a 10-year-old console, get over it.
Time's come and gone.
One last thing with video games, now that I have a 4K TV, it's kind of bumming me out that the current gen consoles may never be able to run at 4K. And that's one thing. When they first came out, all the people were saying this shit's already out of date before it even hits the market.
Well, there might be some sort of add-on or component that they put out later.
They will need that because the PC Master Race is already playing Battlefront in 4K, and it makes me fucking hate those bastards because if you ever see screenshots of that game in 4K resolution, you will just shit your fucking pants. It's outrageous.
Didn't you say you wanted to talk about something in movies?
Yes. Batman v Superman trailer number 2.
I give it a thumbs up.
Oh man, that's what I was afraid of.
I feel like I'm the only person.
No, I will say
again,
like I was saying earlier, I loved the Man of Steel trailer, and then I haven't seen the movie, but it's because all I've ever heard is bad things about it.
Yeah.
Now
I still think you should see it and give it a shot, because.
So my opinion is a little skewed.
For the record, I hate Man of Steel. I thought it was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
I'm with
me
you.
too.
I'm with
you. Bob and
Nick
I were together.
Yeah, we walked out of that theater. We were with Kyle, one of our close friends, and we just turned to each other during the movie several times, and we were very polite. We didn't say anything out loud, but it was like a slow turn with a very disappointed, confused look a lot of the time. Like,
where you're just waiting for things to get better throughout the whole thing.
And then the credits roll and nothing good has happened. It's been a shit fest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a few intriguing scenes, but because of the way it's just sloppily edited and just lazily plotted.
Dragons.
Oh, God. You gotta watch the honest trailer for it. It'll sum up the movie perfectly. Welcome to Krypton, a planet filled with avatar birds.
I will say that the second trailer for Dawn of Justice did excite me. As I mentioned earlier today, I'm really excited for Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm actually excited for Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
I think he, based on the trailer, it seems like he's bringing a little fun, sort of quirky edge to it.
Yeah, maybe Luthor a little life.
Like Luthor in the comics and in the cartoons is just very direct and robotic.
Yeah.
So I think that looks cool. Like I said, I just remain a little skeptical because of how good the trailer looks versus the success of previous DC movies, excluding the Nolan trilogy.
I'm going to say that this is possibly one of the worst movie trailers I've ever seen. Here's why.
Okay.
Number 1, they gave away the entire plot of the movie. What's wrong with it is it's like a 3-minute version of a full-length feature film. You have the beginning when they meet. That's going to occupy about 45 minutes of the movie where they're dancing around, talking about each other, and then they finally come to the meet. So we've seen the meeting now. It's in the trailer, so there's no anticipation for the meeting. It shows them fighting. Mm-hmm. We knew they were going to fight. The movie's called Batman v Superman. The premise is that they're going to fight. We've seen them fight. Now, we see them on the same side already in the fucking trailer! Listen to me, guys!
Well, then, that's going to happen because of the Dawn of Justice.
Yeah,
it's in the title. They're going to end up together.
What the fuck is the purpose of the fight if we know they're just going to fucking team up anyway?
I was a little bummed that they threw Doomsday in there.
I haven't even gotten to that, but... Okay, we've already covered the fight. Neither of them dies. There's no stakes to the fight at all. So the fight is just a big action, don't give a shit fest, which is it's set pieces and things getting blown up and shit. We all know that we knew that Lex Luthor was going to be pulling the strings of all of it, pitting Batman and Superman against each other. In the trailer, we know that they fight, and then they somehow realize that something's fucked up and they need to team up. Then Wonder Woman comes in, just gets shoehorned into the fucking movie for no reason at all. And Doomsday shows up, a character with completely different origins in the comics that is able to kill Superman by himself. Just because we wanted to fit these extra characters in, they needed an overpowered villain to fight against. Couldn't we have waited to see the movie to know that Doomsday was in it, by the way? That's my third biggest problem, is you revealed the fucking money shot.
Well,
that's like showing the cum shot in the preview of the porno.
The only thing they didn't show in the trailer was Aquaman.
Yeah. What point is there to see the movie other than to jack off? I mean, there's no purpose. It doesn't... We know what's going to happen. We have every fucking idea of what's going to happen.
I feel like you knew what was going to happen already.
Yeah, but you can suspend that until you actually see the movie and go, oh shit, they really did do it! Now we just fucking know going in, Doomsday... Batman and Superman talk to each other, they meet, they fight, they decide to team up, Wonder Woman shows up, and they all have to fight Doomsday at the end for the last 25 minutes. It'll look like they're going to lose, and then they'll win and form the Justice League. Don't see the fucking movie, because that's what it is. Because the trailer fucking told us already. Fuck that trailer. Fuck trailers that give away too much, because Star Wars is fucking doing it right. What the fuck is Star Wars about?
I have no idea.
No one fucking knows, and that's the way it should be. This trailer gives away too goddamn much, and it sucks. So that's my fucking rant about it. It pissed me off, because I hated Man of Steel, okay? One of the worst movies I've seen in a very, very long time. I can't remember the last time I walked out of the theater that disappointed. Having such high hopes. Goyer's name is on there. He helped write some of the best of the Batman Nolan trilogy. Nolan's on there producing shitfest. Then you get this overblown... They might as well call it Spider-Man 3. I want to just call it that, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be too much shit going on, not enough time to develop everything, rush to the Justice League to catch up with Marvel. Fuck you.
Well, that all remains to be seen. So.
On the flip side, though, have you guys seen the Civil War trailer?
I have not, because I haven't seen Age of Ultron yet, so I don't want to fuck up my track.
Yeah.
The Civil War trailer
looks
excellent.
good. Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah. Don't spoil it.
Well, okay, but you know what Civil War's about.
I've read Civil War.
Okay, so just then, no spoilers then, but the trailer at some
maybe
point
spoilers for listeners.
Yeah,
though.
so it's
if
really
you
not
haven't
that
read
big.
Civil War and you want a clean slate.
Point is, there's a fantastic little taste of the Captain America Iron Man head-to-head fight.
Yeah. And
oh man, is it like bonerific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and that's two slightly more evenly matched characters. I just can't fucking believe what DC's doing with Batman v Superman. Not to backtrack. I don't want to be... I would love to... I'm still going to see the movie, Nick.
Yeah, I figured.
And I'd love to be pleasantly surprised by it being good. Seriously.
Well, maybe you'll get swerved.
Maybe I will. Maybe it's not even Doomsday, but... You know, I'm willing to accept Doomsday's look and everything, because I'm not that tied to the comics, you know. A lot of people are bitching that he doesn't have that bony, armored look that he's supposed to have, that he looks like a Lord of the Rings troll, which he fucking does, let's be honest. But you can still make a good movie with that. I just thought the trailer gave away too much, and I fucking hate... Don't you hate when trailers give away the plot?
Well, yeah, if it is, in fact, Doomsday, that would have been cool to save, I think, for watching the movie. But I don't think that makes the movie look bad. Maybe they fucked up with the trailer's composition, but I don't think that the parts of the movie that I saw in the trailer looked like it was going to be a bad movie. I
Yeah.
thought that the exchange with Bruce and Clark was cool, and I think Affleck is going to fucking knock it out of the park as
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne is
I'm-
Batman.
I
I'm
think
excited.
I'd be more excited about a Batman standalone with Affleck.
Yeah, that's kind of what
Right.
really looking
Hoping,
forward to.
Yes.
Is getting through this movie,
Yeah.
having it be decent, and then
Yeah.
getting a standalone Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne Batman movie.
Yes. Yes. For sure. And that, I'm willing to accept that. Just keep Zack Snyder away from it and give some creative control to Affleck, because I
Yeah.
think he's got a great movie-making head on his shoulders.
And he loves the character.
Right.
So
So you know he'd want to do it justice.
I I don't think that Affleck as Batman is going to be like Affleck as Daredevil. I think it'll be
Yeah.
much better this time around. So
He's already won me over with Batfleck. You know, I'm on board with Batfleck, for the
Yeah.
record. I just think this movie is going to be... It's sort of like if Marvel would have stepped between a standalone superhero movie and the Avengers and
Yeah.
tried to rush it and said, here's a pre-warm-up for Avengers where it's kind of Avengers, but not all of them are there yet. You know, it's just kind of an awkward step, and trailer gave away too much. I'm bummed out by it. I wish I would have never seen that trailer and gone into the movie and seen the Doomsday reveal, or whoever that villain is.
yeah.
But now I feel like the movie's just spoiled for me. They should put a fucking spoiler warning on that goddamn trailer.
Sounds like they also need a trigger warning on it.
Yeah. Well, I watched a bunch of reactions, and the only one I saw that was positive was from like a total fanboy, you know, jizzing his pants just because Superman's glasses look right and Batman looks a certain way, like his suit looks like Frank Miller, and all that shit is great, but come on. You know, they're insulting our intelligence by putting too many details in the trailer. And Star Wars, I'm glad that they didn't give anything away, and I'm sure J.J. Abrams is laughing about it right now. How many fucking details that goddamn Batman v Superman gave away in that one fucking 3-minute trailer.
Real quick, before we have to go, I want to hit wrestling. Did you watch NXT this week?
I did watch the newest one. I didn't watch the Joe versus
Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, I didn't.
You
see
didn't
the
see
Ciampa
that
match. I'm gonna watch it though.
God damn, that is one of the best NXT matches I've seen.
Wow.
It is fucking stiff.
Okay.
It is intense. So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to see from Samoa Joe, and I feel like that match was what people have been waiting for from him. I feel like if they run with that and just turn him complete monster, you know, and it's not like it's a non-competitive match. It's just they are both beating the shit out of each other, and you don't see that in the WWE product very often.
Right.
So, yeah.
I thought the Vaudevillains versus Jordan and Gable was a very good tag team match.
Did you see the video of Gable during his collegiate days where he fucking just deadlift German suplexes this guy?
No.
Oh man, it's so awesome. It's from a legitimate Greco-Roman match that he had, and you know, he's just got the guy locked up from behind. He picks him up and holds him for like a couple seconds, and then like kind of readjusts him, and then just dead weight German suplex straight back.
Jesus, yeah.
It's awesome.
He's one of those guys where he can probably squat 225 like 100 times.
Yeah.
Like he's just a brick shit house.
Yeah.
In a small package, little smaller than Kurt Angle, but super high energy, super strong. Jason Jordan, same thing.
Yeah.
My current favorite tag team. And Dash and Dawson are definitely growing on me a lot.
They're great, yeah.
Definitely seeing that Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson shit going on.
Yeah.
They need to bring out some spine busters for sure.
In hilarious Roman Reigns news, did you hear about the SmackDown main event?
I did not.
In the SmackDown main event, Roman Reigns defeated in a handicap match Wade Barrett, Sheamus.
Who's the world title holder?
Yeah, Rusev.
Hold on your pause, so I'd imagine there's another person.
Yeah. So what did I say?
Barrett, Sheamus,
Rusev, and who's the fourth? Why can't I think of the fourth right now?
Don't say Kevin Owens.
No, not Owens. Fuck. What are they called? Because they've got like
two guys.
They've got a stable name. Well, the four have a stable name now, and I'm drawing a blank as to who the fourth man is.
The Wyatts?
No.
Is it the?
I mean, like
it's
it's Del Rio.
Del Rio.
Yeah.
Okay.
The four of them, I believe, are they're in a stable now. They're all kind of like the foreign bad guys.
The Mex Americans.
No, I think they're dropping
Did they ditch that Mex American bullshit?
I think without any acknowledgement, they just stopped doing it, which kind of pisses me off. I thought the idea was shit, but I hate when they just act like Angles didn't happen.
Yeah.
I would enjoy some sort of wrap up to some shitty idea that you start. You know?
Even if it's a quick wrap up.
Yeah.
You gotta acknowledge it.
It could have been like a 5-minute segment. Yeah. Then again, maybe they did wrap it up on like main event, and I just didn't see it.
Yeah, we're also watching the condensed version of Raw on Hulu, so we're probably missing a lot of the promos and shit that they deem unnecessary for the Hulu broadcast.
Yeah.
So
that could be. Yeah. So.
Well, no more Mex America.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
I do hope that they bring Swagger back and do something with him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he could be decent. I feel like he'd be a decent heel if they give him an interesting story. Anyway, that's about all the time we have because we have to go to a show here. So.
Yeah. We gotta go to Billy what's his name show.
We're off to Hank's Pub.
Yeah.
Over in Kettering, Ohio.
We played here before, haven't we?
Yeah.
We
played with Vice on Victory.
Mm-hmm.
And someone else, didn't I?
Who we beat
someone else
for Warped Tour.
Yeah,
Well, they're not around anymore.
No, but we still beat them.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Vice on Victory.
And rest in peace, Mex America. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.